Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tina. So today I'm going to share with you my plans for my spring wardrobe.
No, this turned out to be not entirely true, because this video became too long. Here you will hear me talk about how to build a capsule wardrobe, the pitfalls that you can fall into on the road there, and my inspiration for this upcoming spring. The actual wardrobe planning will be in my next video.
I think that when you're talking about a capsule wardrobe, you could make sort of mental mistakes. And you can make actual mistakes too, of course. But it's easy to think about it in the wrong way. And I think that this whole concept with the capsule wardrobe could be even a bit dangerous. So yeah, let me just share with you my thoughts on that. And I would say that there are like 4 major pitfalls or mistakes that you can make. And the first one is to think that this will solve all your problems. I don't think it will. Well, let's just backtrack a little. Like 5 years ago, this became extremely popular and it just exploded as a topic. Everybody talked about creating a capsule wardrobe, and everybody tried to do it. Some people even became sort of obsessed with it. And I think that the major problem here was that it became so popular in itself, because influencers just jumped on this train, and the whole idea, they just ran with it. They tried to outdo each other and make it more and more extreme, I think. And that ended up with lots of ideas floating around that are just completely impossible. For example, this idea with having just 10 pieces in your wardrobe, and that should sort of cover you for a whole season. That would be 3 months. 10 pieces for 3 months, that is just ridiculous. For maybe a few people that could work, but for the rest of us it's not possible. You're guaranteed to be disappointed. And one of the reasons that it became so very popular was, of course, that's when people started to be aware of the damages that the fashion industry is doing to the world. But maybe it was a bit forgotten that also the fabric industry, the actual fabric that you buy, is part of that industry. But that's a side topic. And the environment was a big factor here, but also making people's lives easier to reduce the amount of choices. And that is a good idea. And it's also a good idea to be careful about what you buy. See this quote here by Vivienne Westwood. I think it's absolutely perfect. This whole thing ended up with a lot of ideas that are simply not useful. So if you look around for advice, chances are pretty big that you're going to come across things that actually in reality doesn't work. So I'd say watch out for bad advice. Not everything that's out there is good for you, right? And if we talk about problem number 2 here, pitfall or mistake number 2, that is a part of course, of this whole dream about owning the right stuff will solve all your problems. And what does that sound like? Yeah, that sounds like a commercial. Right, so they made a lot of money on these people. And especially magazines, fashion magazines, that is. They made extreme amounts of money, and they loved this whole concept because it made people buy even more. I know that the whole idea here was to buy less, but it actually made people buy more, and that's why it was so endorsed by magazines. And also influencers and bloggers online, which was still pretty hot and new like 5, 6, 7 years ago. And one of the problems here is they were all telling you that investing in good things is a good thing. That is, spend even more money on the things that you buy. Please be careful if you follow this advice, and don't think that buying a more expensive version of what you're looking for will solve your problems. There is no guarantee that the quality is all that much better. And if you want to make it yourself, also be careful about falling into these ideas, sometimes even alien or crazy ideas about what you need in your wardrobe. One example is that in, I think, every capsule wardrobe of that time, there was always a beige trench coat included. Every woman in the world was supposed to need a beige trench coat, and it should be high quality. And one of my friends made her own trench coat. She bought expensive fabric, and she did spend a lot of time making it. A lot of time, I mean 3-4 months. Because she wanted it to be perfect in every detail, and that was because it was going to become a wardrobe staple for her. And she used it 3 times, and she was really disappointed because she didn't feel comfortable in it. She didn't like wearing a trench coat. She was fooled into thinking that she needed one, and she did spend all that much money on material and all that time making it, and she still didn't like it. And this is part of the illusion that they were selling us. And use critical thinking. Do I really like a trench coat? Buy a cheap one second hand and use it for a couple of years before you invest in one. And I just looked up Burberry, which is the absolute classic of beige trench coats, and one of their classic models is like $2,000. So try it out is my advice before you invest in something that costs $2,000. And then the third pitfall or problem is, if you do invest in all these great things and you throw everything else away, and you have like one white shirt, one pair of dark jeans, and one trench coat, and 3 months later you are like crazy with boredom because it's just plain boring. And that is, I think, the major problem. It becomes so boring. If you take away everything that is odd and special and unique, then you have just basics left. And for some people, that is very good. That's really very good. They really like it. I'm not one of those people. I'm a maximalist. It would kill me to have just white shirts to choose from. Once again, it's really important to go to yourself, think about yourself. What do you actually use? What do you actually like wearing? It's so important. And of course, the final and most specific pitfall or problem is all these recommendations for actual specific items. Does it really fit your lifestyle? Do you really want to wear it? And if you do, if you decide that, yes, I want this, or I already have this actually, will they go together? Because that is really important when it comes to actually wearing the things that you have in your wardrobe. Do they go together? And I don't mean white shirt always goes with the dark jeans. Yeah, sure. But the shape of the things. And I'm really much into shape of things. If you talk about a white shirt, I'm asking, what kind of white shirt? What does it look like? And there are so many styles of everything. And as soon as you deviate from this sort of standard that is given in a capsule wardrobe plan, let's say a white men's shirt, I have one, and I find it very hard to match with other things because it's huge, it's big, the body of it is really, really wide, and the sleeves are sort of ridiculous little things on the end, and it's like 3 times the width of my body, and it's really cool, and it's got a cool color too, and it looks good with dark blue jeans. It does, but it doesn't go with anything else. Nothing else looks good with it. I've tried wearing it with a skirt, but it's like huge. I can't tuck it into the waistband, and I can't wear it over a skirt. It looks absolutely ridiculous. And I can't wear it with wider trousers. So it's, even if it's supposed to be such a staple that goes with everything, I find that it doesn't go with anything. Just because I went away from the absolute basic with just that it's really, really wide and long. So as soon as you put any kind of individuality into these plans, they will probably not work in the whole concept. So that leads me to the conclusion that you have to start with yourself. What do you like to wear? How do you like to wear it in combination with what? So let me show you the base for this wardrobe, this travel wardrobe. Here they are, my Italian trousers. And I call them Italian because if you can see it, to me this looks like a very Italian print. I have some image in my head of some really cool Italian lady running around in, let's say, Rome, dressed in these pretty loud print. pants, trousers, and just wearing something cool with them and just looking very, very, very elegant. I'm really happy about these trousers, but they are store-bought, second-hand. And I don't know what brand they are, because they have been altered. Not by an expert. It's sort of a bit slapdash, the whole thing. For example, if you can, I don't know if you can see if it's focusing. Nah, I can't make it focus. But the belt loop at the back, that's really not high quality sewing, as I said. But it doesn't matter, I like them very much, and they fit me perfect. And whatever alteration this person did, they did it for me, because they fit me. But my problem is, I'm never wearing them. And that's because I don't have anything that go with them. Really strange. Now, if I was wearing a lot of black, that would of course work perfect, because lots of black in here. But I don't. I, in general, don't want to wear black. Also, there's green. I like green. But all the green things I own sort of clash with this here. I don't use a lot of orange. And I have very little yellow. But I would like some more yellow. So, we are going to make a wardrobe that goes with my Italian pants. And I am imagining a trip to Venice in early spring, or let's say April. And I'm gonna wear so many cool things. So, you wanna come with me? Okay, let's go. But, first of all, we need to talk a little bit about style. Because style is quite important for me. As I talked about earlier, like the shape of a shirt is really, really important. And the fact that that shape needs to go with what I'm going to wear with it is also important to me. I feel that even if you plan colors and fabrics carefully, you also need to spend just as much time thinking about how you want to look, how you want to style this. So I am trying to show you here a few images that I have found on Pinterest about style in general, about how to mix and match things together, and it's really, it makes a huge difference. And I'm also always thinking in layers. Layers is important to me, and I think it's important when you want to achieve a special look. I can't really define the way I want to look as a style. But I am very interested in avant-garde designers, and I want to incorporate more of that style into my own wardrobe. As I said, I have been sewing for many years, sort of in an unplanned way. So I'm trying to be more mindful about planning. So I'm looking at style examples. Quite a few of these pictures are unnamed. I don't know the name of the designer behind it, and sometimes I do know the name, but it's a person that I really can't find any information about. They are not big or well-known brand names, and sometimes it's just the random pictures that I don't necessarily like the colors, and I don't necessarily like the whole outfit, but just one detail speaks to me very much. And I am, as I said, trying to incorporate things that I really like, but that what I really like is usually layered things. I like many layers of clothes. Not necessarily because I'm cold, because I am usually pretty cold, but because it adds value to an outfit, in my opinion. It adds interest. I am certainly a person who needs a lot of input to be happy. I don't like minimalism, and I don't like beige. Well, I do like beige, but not just beige. I like it in combination with other colors. And you know what? Do you like this video? You can hit the like button. You could also subscribe, and I would love if you would leave a comment. Maybe you don't agree with me. Let me know. Okay, So now I'm going to show you a few of my favorite designers. I'm looking at my computer here, and we're going to start with the grand old lady, Vivienne Westwood. And of course, I especially like photos of herself wearing her own design. And of course, this whole story starts with punk, more or less. The people of the punk movement are the first who really explicitly wanted to upset the viewer. So they tore clothes apart, cut holes in it, printed obscene pictures on t-shirts and so on. All was about upsetting the audience. And they had followers. For example, Comme des Garçons and Yamamoto and other, especially Japanese designers, caught on to this idea very soon. At least Rei Kawakubo of Comme des Garçons have been around for many years and make some really cool designs. And she has said in interviews that the fact that the whole idea that what you're wearing should please someone is totally alien to her. You do not pick your clothes and you do not pick your style to please someone. Who do we have after that? We can look at some people who could call it the modern day punk. I'm looking at Rick Owens. I'm really inspired by Rick Owens, but mainly his menswear. His women's wear doesn't do a lot for me, but his menswear, at least the older collections, I really find inspiring. Here we can see it's really starting to be all about layering and about adding details and specific design elements to something. Next up, we have a few designers from the group Antwerp 6. This is Anne Demeulemeester and Dries van Noten that I really like. First, Anne, she makes things. She designs a lot of things in just black and white, and she did one collection all in red. Ooh, that one was really cool. But she's also working a lot with layering, which is a thing that I like. Dries, let's say it correctly, Dries van Noten. He is working very much with beautiful fabrics and combining colors and materials and surfaces and patterns in a very impressive way. Also, lots of layering. Always, he never shows a sweater with a skirt. He never shows a sweater with a skirt. There's always something in between, some extra layers, something around the neck, something around the wrists, something hanging down below this cardigan or sweater or something like that. There's always lots of layers. Of course, these images are from the catwalk, so you're not really supposed to wear them for real in real life, but you can definitely get a lot of inspiration from them. Next designer up is a guy called Gary Graham. I don't really know a lot about him as a designer, but he's always working with also lots of different garments combined together to give the right look. Quite often he's using materials that are transparent or semi-transparent, which is very interesting when you work with layers. After that, I want to show you a beautiful picture from a designer called Heider Eckermann. And just look at that one. It's so beautiful with the embroidery and the colors. And last one out is Antonio Maras. I think he's Italian, and he's definitely working with things that look like they are recycled or remade or upcycled or something like that, but he's doing it on an absolute 100% designer level. They are so beautiful usually, but it's a combination of like he's taking 5 different garments and putting them all together to one. And I really like his work. Okay, so now I've shared a lot about my inspiration and my thoughts on a capsule wardrobe and how you should plan it. And this is already a very long video, and I think I have to cut it here and ask you to come back to look at the second part. Probably releasing that one next week when I show you my plans for my capsule wardrobe. See you then. Bye. And my friends, here are some of the fabrics that I have chosen for this that I have chosen for this project. Italian trousers. Italian trousers for the cool Italian lady. Hold on. I'm not Italian. Damn it.